Hi guys, good evening. Welcome to Rudy's Race and Rest Day. Right, on to the M20. Yeah, let's just go straight into it. Right, there we go. It's still too much. Still works out at about 8th now. Now, wind that back. That's too much. We have worked out where the missing sleeve went, and it's in another local car. I've run out of time to play with this car. We've run out of extra funds. This is what happens when you play with cars, obviously. Most of the people watching that are playing with cars would understand this. We spent the last month on this when we shouldn't have. We should have only put about a week and a half. That's all we had kind of over Christmas. We put 3 weeks into it, and then since then we've put another month into it, and we didn't have the time. I have client stuff that I have to get done. I have custom work to do. We just wanted a car finished. Joe and I have spent the last 3 years finishing this car to a great standard due to wanting to go racing. So it's Joe's race car. It's supposed to be for club track days, which is what we kind of do. I was supposed to race this car in April at the Optima Street Car Challenge. We can't race it with a vent crank. It's that simple. Right. There's 3 other engines. So we have over here, we have an engine, which is fine. I have a crank to replace it down there. The crank's just sitting in there. I can pull it out, pull the main bolts out, and I could even turn it and make a mandrel to push it back and use the bolt to pull it back into line. So that one's fine. Then we have 4 sleeves up here. We have one that went to WA. I actually don't have a way to get a hold of him. I'll have to go through some messages over the next week and send him a message. That was to replace my earlier 1020 black bar ones that I'd made because I thought the chromo would be a bit harder. We worked out Adrian's 2.8, which went on the dyno 6 months ago, I think it was, made 180 to 190 kilowatts, depending on whether it was E85 or 98. That's the other one. That's the missing crank sleeve. So we have one short rod 2.8 that made 190 kilowatts that we've got to check. We had another 2.9 roller cam engine, which is in a dirt rally car. I rang today and he's going to check. And then we have the blue bitumen rally car, the 3.1. Now, the 3.1 is very, very important in one fact. The 3-litre M54 crank has issues snapping the snout due to harmonics. The 2.8 doesn't break the snout. It's something unheard of. People spin them to 9,000 all the time. Same as the 86mm. So the 84mm 2.8 crank is quite a robust item, and we could probably run this, but it will smash out the front bearing. It will smash out the front bearing, cause issues, and vibrate. All right? So now we potentially have to pull 4 engines down and crankshafts in them. And I think once we know what's going on, I'll let everybody know. I might have a week off of YouTube and off of all this stuff and just concentrate on getting some work done. Thanks for all the support, guys. We might. Looks like the car gets shelved for 6 to 12 months. We get to this very pointy end, and now we have to re-race prep a crankshaft and rebalance. This crank, we can't use this crank if it's bent and it stayed that way. I tried. I used an offset sleeve. I'll show you what I used. I made one. So this was 10,000 offset. Right, so what I did was I drilled a hole. Oh, yeah, broken tap. That's the thickest side, and that went in where the crank needed to bend back this way. So I put that where it had to bend. I've marked this here with a dial gauge, exactly where the high spot was, where it was the most out, and then we put the high spot of that there, and we did it up. Still didn't fix it. So I did try. I tried over and over. I've had that timing belt off 25 times. So yeah. Once we can afford it, we've got to work out what we're going to do now. So it's a manufacturer mistake. I paid somebody to manufacture crank sleeves to ensure I had a perfect item, and it didn't happen. So I now need to maybe look at legal representation. I don't know. I'm just a workshop guy. Joe and I have talked about it. We're going to have a few days to just mull it over and work out what we're going to do. We've given the customers that have got the same crank spaces in their engines the go-ahead to measure. Told them that if they need me to measure it, I'll by all means get in the car and come measure. I can pull the old ones out that were made. It's very hard. You've got to drill a bunch of holes. It gets to a point where it stops clamping on the crank so tight, and then you can withdraw it out. And once you withdraw it out a little, you can get it all out. So they're hard to get out, but I can do it. So yeah, sounds like it's going to be, or looks like it's going to be a weird 3 months ahead of us, I suppose. So yeah, we'll probably in a week's time I'll do an update and we'll go from there. I might put up something on Brian's car and the rustwork once we've got all the flooring and everything done. But yeah, I don't know. I need a holiday. Just don't have the time or the money. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about this bullshit. I hope you all have a lovely week. And let's hope we get to race it at some stage. How fucking dismal.